Hi, everybody. Welcome to this YouTube video. It's December 2021, and we've just made a short video to go over all the new changes to Google Workspace Education Plus. I'm joined here with my colleagues James and Veronica. Hi, James. Hi, Veronica.
Hi,
Hello.
Dan.
Veronica deals with Europe, so anything to do with if you need help with Google PD or anything in Europe, get in touch with Veronica. James deals with Asia and the Middle East. So anything to do with those regions, get in touch with James. And again, before we start, just to say, we always say this, we are a Google Workspace for Education Plus partner. If you want to get all these premium features, you need to go through a partner. We're obviously one of those partners. And if you do choose Apps Events, what we offer is free monthly support and training. We do a call with all our customers. We go over all the new features. We answer any questions. We give a lot of ongoing support over and above what you can get as your regular support from Google. So without further ado, anything else, guys? If not, we can just kick straight into the new features.
Yeah, just sort of mentioned, Dan, that obviously we work with international schools a lot. I mean, we do work with UK schools and US schools a huge amount as well from those teams. But we do a lot of work with international schools in Asia, Middle East, and Europe. So if you have questions perhaps unique to your situation, feel free to reach out to us and we can probably help you out.
Great.
Okay, should we get started with the updates? This will be the last, well, probably the last updates announcements from us for 2021. Google still has a few things they're going to be announcing over the next couple of weeks, but it is getting close to the holiday season. So we have 5 or 6 different announcements over the last few weeks, which we're just going to go through. The first of which revolves around SSO. If you wanted to enable SSO for your organization, you actually have to enable it for a single provider for the entire domain. That is changing slightly in that you can now enable SSO just for individual OUs. So for example, if you've got contractors coming in to work on the domain, perhaps they're enabling a Chrome Enterprise upgrade, for example, or something else, you could enable SSO on Google for just a single domain, a single OU within your domain.
Yep.
We'll share the link to this presentation and you can click through to the relevant details on this. Yeah, we'll share the link to this in the, I guess, the description for this YouTube video as well at the bottom.
Yep.
The next release, now this was actually, I mean, it says Wednesday, November 17th, but because it takes a couple of weeks for rapid release and then schedule release domains to get access to new features, some people are only just starting to see this now.
And just to jump in, all these features, depending on where you are in the world, you may get them now or later. There's a propagation period when it moves out to all the regions. It's not uniform, so it doesn't always happen straight away.
Absolutely. Plus, it depends whether you're that rapid release or scheduled release. Anyhow, Smart Chips is going back to the Smart Compose and sort of future of work concept that Google is rolling out. So you've already probably seen this in Google Docs. And what it is that when you put the @ sign into a Google Sheet now, when you pull up the name of a colleague, and you can see there from the animated GIF that you've got a list of colleagues that you can choose from. When you select their name, you can see that their name is kind of highlighted in light gray there. And when you hover over their name, then you can see their profile information come up as well. So you can see obviously telephone number, position, office, and so on. And that could be useful, obviously, if you're working in a multi-campus school. You can see perhaps which campus a fellow teacher is working in, or even which group, or depending on how the school is organized. So that information comes up. What's great about this is that it really bolsters Google Sheets tools to be a project management tool. It's very, very useful now. We use Google Sheets to do our project management. We've talked about this before. And it really just these additional features make it easier to include people into Google Sheets.
Yeah, definitely. As you all know, it's already available for Google Docs. I've started using it, and it is a great feature. So great to see it's in Sheets as well now.
In fact, there's another feature coming soon. It's been announced a few months ago. It's called Timeline. It looks like a bit like a Gantt chart. I haven't had the chance to check it out yet. but it will be being released in the next few weeks. I'm just not sure when. But when that Gantt chart release, it's not called Gantt chart, it's called timeline. But when the timeline is released, it's going to be, I think it's going to be very welcome for Google Sheets users.
Yep.
Okay.
By the way, one extra thing, while we're on the Sheets topic, in case anyone has missed this, a really cool feature in Sheets. It's been there for a while, but a lot of people don't know about it. You're always looking with Sheets who's edited. Now, and obviously the revision history is a bit vague, but you can click on a cell, right-click, and show edit history, and we use this all the time, and you can see every change. So just in case you have missed that one, go to a cell, right-click, show edit history. You can see it, who's changed all the info in that cell. It's a really useful tool.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, transition timeline for classic Google Sites. This is probably the longest transition timeline for a product ever with Google. So several years ago, back in 2017, that classic sites is going to be replaced with new Google Sites. So the previously announced timeline has been extended. Originally, it was going to be 1st of December. You would not be able to edit your classic sites. That has moved to June the 1st, 22. So from June 1st, 22, you will not be able to edit any classic sites. So if any of your staff or teachers have any legacy classic sites still on the domain, after June the 1st, which is the end of the school year for a lot of schools around the world. When I work in Thailand, and I know that the Thai schools are in session, and Malaysian schools are in session, but for a lot of schools, June 1st is the end of their school year. So this really syncs with that. So you won't be able to edit classic sites after June 1st, and then July 1st, they will no longer be viewable unless they've been converted to new Google Sites. Probably this will not affect schools too much unless you've got possibly a big district with a classic site that's being accessed by many staff, many teachers. But anyway, just again, click through on this. You can see the full details for this. There is a bulk conversion tool for sites. So it is easy. There are some features which do not convert well to new sites, but all the details are there. Okay, big announcement for Education Plus, which just, announced in November 16th. 500 participants can now join a Google Meet, which is great. Hopefully not all talking at once. Actually, this is where Google Meet works very well, because the web version of Google Meet it highlights the speaker. And if you've been on the web version of other video conferencing tools, it doesn't always highlight the speaker. And especially when you got 500 participants, that would be essential. So this is actually where Google does very, very well with the web version, which is the native version for Google. So up to 500 users. If you're on fundamentals, I think the limit, Dan, is the limit on fundamentals still 100?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so still on 100 for fundamentals, but if you are an Education Plus customer, you may now have 500 participants. This one is for admins. This is to every education domain, actually every Google Workspace domain, but really we're talking here Education Fundamentals, Education Plus. There is a new card. When you log into the admin console now, and you've probably seen over the last 12 months, it's been updated. This is the refreshed Google admin console. On the upper right-hand corner, you will see now there is a card for product updates, which is really useful because previously you'd have to be getting the email updates or the checking the blog out for the latest updates. But now they are listed in the admin console, which is great because as an administrator, you might be logging in there daily and you'll see any of those updates which may be affecting some of your users, so you could do something about it straight away. Secondly, there is now a card as well for alerts, showing account-specific alerts from the Alert Center. And that is very useful also, just giving you a quick snapshot, and you can see if anything is a priority that needs to be addressed. Okay, another Google site. So this is for new Google sites. Just a quick update that for any customer, they can copy a single page or a subset of pages. So if you've got, for example, a template, a project template site that you're working on, or you're collaborating with multiple teachers on a class site or a school site. For some reason you want to copy a selection of pages for a template, then you can do that now in new Google Sites. Right, today is Wednesday, December 8th when we're recording this. The transformation reports window is open. It has been open since November, but it's closing on December the 10th. So if you're watching this on or before December 10th, the transformation window report is still open. Now, if you haven't done the transformation report before, it's a very cool tool just to get some quick feedback about usage on your domain. There's sort of three main things which are very, very good to look at. One are the statistics on app usage. So when you go to the transformation reports, you will click to run the report, and within, I think it's usually within less than a minute, depending on the size of the domain, it will give you quick overview stats about usage on your domain. And you can, if you've run the report before, you can compare that against a previous period as well. So that's the first thing, getting stats about usage of apps. The second thing is that it will also give you details about certification numbers on your domain. If a teacher has included their school email on their examination or their certification profile. So for example, you have a teacher, they took certified educator, they use their personal email address and their school email address in their profile for their exam, then their certification details would be available through the transformation report. And you would get a number of users which are certified. It doesn't list out the names of users, it will just tell you how many you have. The third really useful thing is you can issue a questionnaire or a survey to your staff. It's quite in depth, and I'd recommend obviously meeting with a small team before doing this. It's quite an involved process. The survey itself only takes about 20 minutes. But you'd obviously want everybody to understand what the purpose of running the transformation report is. And if you wanted to chat to ourselves at Apps Events, we can support your school through this as well. The aim is to understand digital transformation within your domain, within your school. And there's a lot of in-depth questions there that stakeholders, for example, heads of departments, teachers, school leadership, obviously IT teams and so on, can contribute to. The questionnaire process does take 20 minutes to fill out. You'd probably want to have a kickoff meeting, inform people as well. So it would take a little bit of time to successfully do that. The statistics, though, on your usage within your domain, that's almost immediate. So you can run that straight away. Lastly, and we did mention this last month, and this has been out for about a month now, but just for any scheduled domains, they should have this now. Document approvals within Google Docs. If you go to the file menu, you should see that doc approvals menu item now. It's a pretty cool tool. So rather than sending out a form saying that you agree to the document or adding a comment to say that you agree to the document, formal document approvals actually track people approving documents. So if you had 5 people to approve a document, then it would track who has approved a document. And you can also, you have 2 different options. You can allow the document to be edited as it's being approved, or you can lock the document and seek approvals that way as well. And yeah, that's about it for the releases we're going to talk about this month. There are a couple of others. You can check them out on the release blog. And I think that will be the last set of announcements for us before the end of 2021.
Yeah, obviously, everybody have a great Christmas, holidays, New Year, and look forward to seeing you in 2022. Check out the link at the bottom of the page. Free 60-day trial. What are you waiting for? This time, the quiet time over the holiday period is a great time to start taking a quick look at Workspace Education Plus. So check it out, completely free, no obligation. If you don't go ahead, then after the 60 days, your workspace just reverts back to your current fundamentals. Nothing changes. Cool. Thanks, James. Thanks, Veronica.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
everyone.
Bye.